Now, Tex Morton is such a popular figure, particularly with show crowds, that before he commences his second routine today, I want him to come up to the microphone and tell us a few things about the marvellous show that he's brought to Bowen Park for the Royal National Exhibition. Tex, what have we this year?
George, I think I'd better leave it to you radio announcers. You seem to have the gift of the gab better than I have. To tell the ladies and gentlemen about the show, nothing much that I can say, except that the show is about 10 times bigger than it was last year.
That's saying a mouthful.
We've, since the last Brisbane exhibition, we've toured practically the whole of Australia, and the show is pretty near a new show right throughout. New equipment, new people, and, well, about all I can say is that if you're not satisfied, I'll give you your money back. I think it's a...
money-back guarantee, certainly a guarantee.
I think that's an offer that no other showman has ever made. It doesn't do for me to talk too much about the show. You may get the idea that I'm boasting about it or slinging off at somebody else's show. But sufficient to say that I have out there whip-crackers, hook-spinners, sharpshooters, cowboys, cowgirls, rough-riders, lady rough-riders, and clowns, acrobats, trapeze artists, monkey riders, mule riders, and probably the roughest, toughest bunch of outlaw horses I think ever seen in Australia. And there are 3,000 seats in the tent. I think it's the biggest show of its kind in Australia, probably in the world now.
3,000 seats in the tent. You can book me 4 of them up. Or is there enough room in your seats out there for even a big fat chap like myself?
I think we can fit you in all right, George.
Okay. What do you mean you think?
By the way, for the benefit of the ladies and gentlemen listening in, I'd like to mention right here that the prices are the same as last year. I noticed...
Namely? Just in case we forget.
Well, I noticed a rumor around the town that the prices were to be increased, but I see money.
That'll be enough for you. I want a free ticket.
Who's going to play in advance? The prices are the same as last year. 2 shillings for the adults, 1 shilling for the children, and 1 shilling for soldiers and seamen in uniform, and sailors in uniform. Or at least like members of the forces, Air Forcemen, sailors, and soldiers, 1 shilling. So that's about all I've got to say about the show. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Well, that's a guarantee. I mean, Tex must have had an onion luncheon because he repeated that one. That if you don't like it, he'll give you your money back. And as he said, there aren't too many showmen in Australia who will back their show with that guarantee. And now, sweet music.
Thank you, George. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with the combination Slim. You've heard him many times on radio and record, and you people who've heard this band on recordings may have the idea that the band is much bigger than it is, but there are actually only 4 or 5 people in the band. On recordings, it sounds like a 12-piece band because Dick plays about 10 instruments, George plays about 5. I play 1, I must admit. And Sister Dorrie plays about 5 or 6 instruments, too. So this one is to give Dick a chance to show off a little bit with his little mouth organ. He's got a mouth organ here. It's only a tiny one. And if he doesn't swallow it, we should have some good music. So this number is Hand Me Down My Walking Cane.
My walking cane. Oh, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna leave on the midnight train. All my sins are taken away. Hand me down my bottle of corn. Hand me down my bottle of corn. Oh, hand me down my bottle of corn. I'm gonna get drunk, sure you born. All my sins are taken away. I I got drunk,
and I got in jail.
and I got in jail.
I got drunk,
I got drunk,
and I got in jail.
and I got in jail. I got drunk and I got in jail. Ain't nobody gonna go my bail. All my sins are taken away.
The beans was tough, and the meat was fat.
And the meat was fat.
The beans was tough,
The beans was tough,
and the meat was fat.
and the meat was
Oh,
fat.
the beans was tough, and the meat was fat. How the heck could I eat that? All my sins are taken away. 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 All my sins are taken away.
Taking the microphone over for a broadcast of Tex Morton's Roughriders Band. First half of the buck-jumping program is just concluding, and 3,000 people are packed into the Tex Morton tent tonight to see some of Australia's greatest horsemen and horsewomen in action.
Well, thank you very much, sir, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of Australia. In a moment or two, this horse will be out of the ring. The rider seems to be quite okay now. He had rather a nasty fall, but that's all in the game. Yes, he's on his feet, and as he leaves the ring, the audience are giving him a terrific round of applause. Good lad. Very game rider. Better luck next time, sir. Thank you again. By the way, the time of that ride by the stopwatch was exactly 2 seconds. One going up and one coming down. And now, for the benefit of our radio audience, I have pleasure in bringing into the arena those stars of radio, record, stage, and screen, Sister Dorrie and the boys. All fine horsemen and fine musicians. Here they are with their fiddles, guitars, accordions, and mouth organs. There's a bit of yodeling. I know some people don't like yodeling, but that's all right. We've got your money. You've got to sit there and listen whether you like it or not. Dorrie has her accordion, and here they come, Australia's own Roughriders Band. And the first number tonight is an old American cowboy song from far off Texas, When the Cactus is in Bloom. I think the boys are ready. Okay, fellas, let her go.
De-yodelay, de-yodelay, de-yodelay. Cattle prowl and the coyotes howl out on that great divide. I never done no wrong, just singing a song. Down the trail I ride. Rattlesnakes rattle at the prairie dog. You hear that mournful tune. It's roundup time way out west, and the cactus is in bloom. Daylight comes and the cowhands yell. They call out every man. I throw my saddle on the old cow horse and drink my coffee from the can. The sun goes down on the cattle trail and I'm gazing at the moon. It's roundup time away out west when the cactus is in bloom. It never snows or rains. That is where the sun shines best, out on the western plains. Some of the boys have gone away, but they will be back soon. It's roundup time way out west when the cactus is in bloom. Daylight comes and the cowhands yell, they call out every man. I throw my saddle on the old cow horse and drink my coffee from a can. The sun goes down on the cattle trail and I'm gazing at the moon. It's roundup time away out west when the cactus is in bloom. De-yodelay, de-yodelay, de-yodelay. Thank you.
Oh, well, listen, are you going to sing now?
If you'll stand away from the microphone, my good woman, I shall do my best.
Well, listen, instead of singing, how about giving us one of Banjo Patterson's poems? Something like Rio Grande or The Man from Snowy River.
Sure, I'd like to. Rio Grande, I think I know it. Rio Grande. Now, this was what McPherson told while waiting in the stand. A reckless rider, overbold, the only man with hands to hold the rushing Rio Grande. He said, "This day I bid goodbye to bits and bridle rein, to ditches deep and fences high, for I have dreamed a dream and I shall never ride again. I dreamt last night I rode this race, that I today must ride, and cantering down to take my place, I saw many an old friend's face come stealing to my side. Dead men, on horses long since dead, they clustered on the track, the champions of the day's long play. They moved around with noiseless tread, bay, chestnut, brown, and black. And one man on a big gray steed rode up and waved his hand. Said he, 'We help a friend in need, and we have come to give a lead to you and Rio Grande. For you must give the field the slip, so never draw the rein, but keep him moving with the whip. And if he falter, set your lip and rouse him up again. But when you reach the big stone wall, put down your bridle hand and let him sail. He cannot fall, but don't you interfere at all. You trust old Rio Grande.' We started, and in front we showed, the big horse running free. Right fearlessly and game he strode, and by my side those dead men rode, whom no one else could see. As silently as flies a bird, they rode on either hand. At every fence I plainly heard the phantom leader give the word, 'Make room for Rio Grande.' I spurred him on to get the lead. I chanced full many a fall, but swifter still, each phantom steed kept with me, and at racing speed we reached the big stone wall. And there the phantoms on each side drew in and blocked his leap. 'Make room, I loudly cried, but right in front they seemed to ride. I cursed them in my sleep. He never flinched. He faced it game, he struck it with his chest, and every stone burst out in flame, and Rio Grande and I became phantoms among the rest. And then I woke, and for a space, all nerveless did I seem. For I have ridden many a race, but never one at such a pace as in that fearful dream. And I am sure, as man can be, that out upon the track, those phantoms that men cannot see are waiting now to ride with me, and I shall not come back. For I must ride the dead man's race and follow their commands. For worse than death, the foul disgrace, if I should fear to take my place today on Rio Grande. He mounted, and the jest he threw was never sign of gloom. But all who heard the story knew that Jack McPherson, brave and true, was going to his doom. They started, and the big black steed came flashing past the stand.
All single-handed in the lead, he strode along at racing speed, the mighty Rio Grande. But on his ribs the whalebone stung, a madness sure it seemed, and soon it rose on every tongue that Jack McPherson rode among the creatures he had dreamed. He looked to left and looked to right, as though men rode beside, and Rio Grande, with foam-flexed white, raced at his jumps in headlong flight and cleared them in his stride. But when they reached the big stone wall, down went the bridle hand, and loud we heard McPherson call, "Make room or half the field will fall! Make room for Rio Grande! He's down! He's down!" And horse and man lay quiet, side by side. No need the pallid face to scan. We knew, with Rio Grande, he ran the race the dead men ride. Thank you, thank you. And now, for the time being, we must say goodbye, as there are a lot more horses and riders here to be seen, and, well, as soon as this broadcast is over, we resume the buck-jumping program. So don't forget to listen in every Saturday night for this program of Australian and American cowboy songs, old songs, new songs, songs of the pioneers, songs from the sunburnt plains of Queensland, songs from far off Texas, brought to you by the Roughriders Band. So now, good night to you all from the Tex Morton Rodeo. So long.
You've been listening to a broadcast by Tex Morton with Sister Dorrie and the Roughriders Band.